this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the Google Display Network, okay? So first of all, what is the Display Network? Well, before I kind of tell you what it is, let me first tell you that the network spans over 2 million websites and reach over 90% of people on the internet. Now, how's that for traffic, okay? It is a massive, massive traffic generator, first of all, okay? And the Display Network is basically a bunch of third-party sites that host AdSense ads on their sites and get paid a percentage of the revenue generated. So as an example, let's say the site Forbes.com, which by the way is in the Display Network, is one of the Display Network URLs, okay? They'll have a certain part of their site that's open for ads. So they will actually join AdSense and they will actually put an ad block on a certain part of their site and say, okay, Google, every time our page loads, we want you to serve an ad in that spot, okay? And every time somebody clicks on the ad, I want to get paid a percentage of the revenue. So these are third-party sites, okay? These are not Google-owned properties. Now, some can be, like Blogger and so on and so forth, but for the most part, they are third-party sites that host these AdSense ad blocks, okay? And then AdWords is what we're going to be using in the Display Network to target and serve ads on these particular placements, okay? And we're going to be able to do it in a variety of different ways, which we're going to talk about, okay? And the Display Network, as you can understand, would allow us to connect with customers with a variety of different ad formats, okay? And these formats are like expanded text ads, which we already use on search, banners in multiple sizes, responsive text ads, which we're going to be talking about fairly in depth here in a video later on in this series, and of course, video. Now, a big question it's a big thing that people need to understand. It's not really a question as much as just a thought change that people have to get into, is what makes display different, okay? What's different about display than search, right? Because search is pretty straightforward. People put in a keyword, they're literally raising their hand saying, I'm interested. You put in a keyword, they get a result, and you're putting your product in front of them for what they typed in, okay? But what makes display different is you're actually reaching users at an earlier stage of the buying cycle, okay? Not in every single instance, but for the most part, it's a much wider form of advertising, okay? As an example, okay, if somebody's going to the store to buy a gallon of milk, okay, they literally type, let's kind of use an analogy of that with typing it into a search engine. They type in milk, okay, they get served an ad. That's similar to standing in front of the milk case and there they are. Oh, there's my milk. They grab the gallon of milk, okay. The Display Network would be that person who has the milk in their hand up at the cash register, and they happen to turn over and look and glance and see the as seen on TV aisle, right? And they see something that kind of catches their attention. They didn't go in there to buy the milk, to buy that item. They went in there to buy milk, right? But they see something that catches their eye, and they're like, oh my goodness, and they pick it up and they start reading it, and then they decide to buy it. That's the Display Network, okay? You're at the checkout, something catches your eye, you didn't come in there for it, but you're going to leave the store with it. That's the Display Network. Now, the unique thing about the Display Network is it allows us to have multiple targeting options, okay? Now, just because you can throw an ad up and it goes and there's 2 million sites available, there are ways to control where your ad is shown, obviously. And one of the ways is through topics, which is something unique to the Display Network. And then later on, we're going to get into some advanced stuff into affinity and in-market audiences as well. Now, there's a lot of other options that we can talk about here, and we will, but I just wanted to give you a general introduction to display and what's different about it, what's the advantages of it, and we're going to talk a lot more about all that stuff in the upcoming videos.